Hi everyone, I'm in Monterey. I'm in a hotel. Just woke up. Well, woke up about an hour ago. Went on a 2 mile run, and there's a reason for that. And so, wanted to talk to you more about that in this video. I noticed that since I got the glucometer, um, or it's like a ketone reader and a glucometer together, I've been measuring my glucose a lot more than usual and trying to make a connection between the two, which I think has been helpful. So what I noticed recently in the last 3 days is that seems like it's like what's going on here? Why are my ketones like super low? I between point 1 and point 5, it's like not really going up or anything. And I realized like the biggest factor, even though I'm doing zero carbs at this point, the biggest factor I realize is something that is probably just kind of went under the radar after a while, because I'm doing this because I want to be as inactive as possible in a sense, while still mobilizing fat, basically, so that I could achieve my mentally challenging goals. So I realized I don't know. I watched this video again called the GLUT, discussing the GLUT4 transport. And basically I realized, like, I don't know why I just made the connection there. I was like, oh, I see what's going on here. So my blood glucose basically goes up. I noticed it goes up from around 70s. It could be 75, 70, like before I go to sleep. Maybe it could be like 11 p.m., 12 a.m., 10 p.m. or something, and it'll rise to about 103, which is called the dawn phenomenon, but it's not that unusual for that to rise like to that level in healthy people. But when you first wake up, but regardless, I noticed that for some reason, I don't know what it is about my body, but it's glucose dependent in the sense that it really wants to use that dawn phenomenon. Glucose is like your body's giving you like a candy bar in the morning. It's just crazy, and it's like I wasn't looking to do that. I wasn't looking to get that. So but what happens is I noticed that dawn phenomena, it's supposed to last from 4 a.m. to 8 a.m. and meaning like there's like meaning the rise in the glucose is going to be that case. But what I'm saying is, in order for you to get down, so for me to get down to an equilibrium back to like 75, it could take 8 to 10 hours. And this is the thing that's not discussed a lot. This could be a factor that could be affecting you in your so-called keto journey, trying to get those ketones to remain elevated. Now, see, it wasn't a critical factor when I was at 18% body fat. I'm like 11, 12, whatever. In a relative sense, that is, whatever scale I was using. So, because when you have a lot of fat to lose, your body's gonna prefer that way more. So, I think this dawn phenomenon is now the critical factor. And what I find interesting is the concept of the GLUT4 transport. So basically, your muscles can suck up the glucose if you can mobilize it and do a workout in the morning, do something intense, be it HIIT or something like that. And so the thing is, see, that could either happen, or you can let insulin take over and suck it out. But see, that's the problem, because when insulin is present, I could intermittent fast for 10 hours when I wake up and still not see those ketones really go up that much, or before it starts to go up, because primarily that insulin is being released to try to get that glucose from 103 to back to equilibrium, which is like 75. So, because my body wants to be like there. So, and it's kind of ridiculous. It just seems like ridiculous at this point, because I'm like, I intermittent fast every single day. I use all this willpower, right, to try to get it down. And I realized, holy shit, all you have to do is spend 15 minutes doing something intense. Like, it doesn't have to be a 9-mile run or anything like that. You could just literally do a few, squats, do some HIIT training, just like jumping jacks and stuff for 15 minutes. 15 minutes in one. But for me, it's more like I want to do something I know I can really knock out. So for me, it's like a 1 or 2 mile run. And I can confirm that today. I don't have the numbers, but I went from and I don't know the units, but a blood sugar of 98 when I first woke up, and then after 2 mile run, now it's down to 66. So yeah, I mean, obviously, if I might have pushed it a little too far because it wants to be between 70 and 75, basically. That's like the equilibrium. But obviously with maybe with muscle loss or something, it might balance out. I don't know, to get up to the 70. But for sure, what that does, that 15 minutes is going to bypass the need for insulin for the next 10 hours. And instead of the insulin rising to compensate for that, I'm going to get a rise in ketones. And I'll bet I'm going to test it, but I'll bet, because right now I'm only at like 0.3, 0.4, because I mean, in addition to the glucose, I'm cool. Well, because when I first woke up, my ketone was 0.5, but you needed a little bit of the ketone to push through that 2 mile run. So it went down a little bit. So I'm not really tripping over that, but I'm gonna test again, and like obviously I'm gonna fast, but in about 2 hours, and see what my reading is, my ketone reading, and I'm gonna guess it's gonna be at about 0.9 to 1.2. So wish me luck. Thanks. But this is something that I wanted to talk about, GLUT4 transport, because it's a concept that I've always looked through, and usually the context of GLUT4 transport is you eat a meal, and it's like, well, you want to reduce the impact of that glucose release, and usually the context is, oh, well, you're like a diabetic and it'll go up to like 300, and you just need to do a few sissy squats. I mean, a few squats or some kind of something that will stimulate the muscle, like in a simple way, for 5-10 minutes that will feel a little intense, especially a squat, an exercise snack, so to speak. And that will get it down to a level that is more reasonable. But at this point, I'm applied that concept to something more particular in my situation, which is the dawn phenomenon. And when you compare 15 minutes to 10 hours to allow the ketones to be released, it's way better, because then you could eat more. You could give yourself the proteins it needs and all the other nutrients. So thanks for watching.